Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. In this video today we are going to be taking a look at the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Now we do get a number of fighting games collections out over the years, and I don't always buy them. Sometimes I buy them at launch, sometimes I wait for them to go a little bit cheaper and pick them up just to add to the collection. It depends on the games that are available in the collection, how badly I want to play them, and whether I have different ways of enjoying them, especially online. This is one that I pre-ordered, and the day it came out I started playing it, and that's mainly for one game, and that's Capcom vs SNK 2, Mark of the Millennium 2001. I like that game a lot. For years and years I played Street Fighter growing up, then I took a gap from video gaming, but when I resumed video gaming again like a nerd in like my early 20s, I guess, or mid 20s you could even say, the main Street Fighter game, or the game closest to Street Fighter that was kind of around and available to play, was Capcom vs SNK 2. So that kind of reignited my whole fighting game kind of spark. It got me back into it. So the game means a lot to me. I played it on the original Xbox when it was available online, and over the years I have played it. Recently I've been playing it on Fightcade via Flycast emulator. Now, as much as I like that, there was a lot of latency, a lot of input lag in this. So yeah, I wanted a new way to play it. So the games that are available in this collection, guys, are Capcom vs SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro, so that's the original CVS. Then we've got CVS 2, Capcom vs SNK 2, Mark of the Millennium 2001. Then we've got Capcom Fighting Evolution, known as Capcom Fighting Jam in Japan, and that is like a mishmash of all the games. You've got characters from all different like fighting games from Capcom's franchises kind of put into one, kind of pitched as the ultimate brawler. It didn't quite deliver. It wasn't that good, even though it was janky fun. Then we've got Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. Now, I've never been the biggest fan of Street Fighter Alpha 3. Generally speaking, I do like it. I love the art style. I think it looks great. It's got one of the best intros. It is somewhat fun to play, but it's nice to have on here. Right, one thing I have to point out here as well, and this is really, really important. I bought the Steam version. You can buy it wherever you want. PS4, PS5, Xbox, even it's available for the Nintendo Switch. Now, the reason that I picked it up on Steam is because, hey, it's on a PC. I don't have to pay a subscription charge to play online. But I've got two uses for it. So the first four games that I've just named you guys are games that I can only play on an arcade stick. I can't really play those on a controller. But the second half of the games that I mentioned, the four games I'm going to mention now, are games that I'm going to enjoy on my Steam Deck, that I can play on a handheld. I can chill out in bed and play. So I definitely think this collection is good value, but we'll go through each game individually. The game I know most about is going to be Capcom vs SNK 2, and we talk about some things that Capcom got right, some things that they got wrong, and hopefully there's stuff that they can improve. And I really do hope they listen to the fans, because there's a lot of hardcore people that like these games, and their version or their way of playing it is usually the best one. We'll have a look at some other stuff during this video. So when it comes to Power Stone 1 and 2, they're great games to play on the Steam Deck. If you're playing them on a handheld, honestly, absolutely fantastic, amazing, lying down in bed, having a Steam Deck and playing games online. Now, I know that the general consensus is play with an Ethernet cable wherever possible, but hey, if I want to play in bed on my Steam Deck, I'm going to play using Wi-Fi. And then so after Power Stone 1 and Power Stone 2, we've got Project Justice, which is also Rival Schools 2. Yeah, that's a great game. Played it on the Dreamcast. Really, really did like it. Don't fully understand it, but heck, it's a lot of fun. So then we've got Plasma Sword being a final game in this collection. Nightmare of Bilstein. Okay, that's also known as Star Gladiator 2. So guys, we've got a decent lineup. So this is $34.99 on Steam. I actually bought a key from CD Keys for $22.49, $22.50 as a pre-order. And, I got it a little bit cheaper. But let's dive into each game. So, yeah, grab yourself a snack. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. But let's look at each game and look at some pluses and minuses. So first game, Capcom vs SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro. Now, I never played this game in the arcade. I kind of went straight on to number 2. I have dabbled with this in the past, and I have enjoyed it, but I've never really played it properly. This is interesting, the way this game is played. As far as I know, this may be the first collaboration between Capcom and SNK. And now, straight off the bat, I have to say, when it comes to Capcom vs SNK 1 versus CVS 2, I prefer the backgrounds in CVS 1. And the reason that I like those is because the backgrounds are more fitting. In CVS 2, you had 3D objects in there, and it just felt out of place, whereas the backgrounds in CVS 1, the art direction, it looks like a continuation of the Street Fighter Alpha series. It definitely has that art direction. Now, the way that you pick your characters, you can pick up to 4 characters. So you've got 4 ratio points, and you've got some ratio 1 characters, some ratio 2 characters, and you've got some ratio 3 characters. So you could, the optimal way to play this, the guys that play this in the arcade, it was pretty much 4 characters that were ratio 1. That's how you played your game. So people started using those. You had characters like Cammy, Blanca, Sakura as ratio 1. Then you had characters like Ryu and Ken being ratio 2 characters, and ratio 3 were generally like the stronger boss characters. So it's up to you how you wanted to do it. You could pick a ratio 3 character, a ratio 1 character, 2 ratio 1 characters, a ratio 2 character. Just mix and match it as long as the total adds up to 4. This game is definitely a lot of fun. There's only 2 grooves in this. I say only 2 grooves because in CVS 2 there's more, and we'll have a look at those in a second. The 2 grooves that you've got in here are, well, C and S. The Capcom groove and the SNK groove. The Capcom groove is similar to like the middle groove in Street Fighter Alpha. We've got 3 different levels, and that's how you do your moves. The SNK groove, it's like, I can't remember what game it's out of. Maybe it's one of the King of Fighters. Can't remember the exact one, but it's the one where you hold 2 buttons down to charge, and as you charge up your special moves, you can then produce that special move. So different ways. I personally prefer the Capcom groove, but I am more of a Capcom guy. And another thing that's weird about this game is that it's a 4-button game. So when you play the SNK characters, it feels more natural. But for example, like when you play a Capcom character, and with Ryu, when you press like the hard kick, or you've only got 2 kick buttons, so light and hard, a kind of medium kick comes out, and in order to do a sweep, I think you need to move it like diagonal down forward. So it definitely feels a little bit off, but not a major criticism of the game. You just have to play a different way. But overall, the game's a lot of fun. Whether this is something I'm going to get into, I think it's just too past in my life, and I never grew up with this. I never played it, but yeah, it's a freaking good looking game, especially the background. So definitely enjoy it, and I'm so happy it is part of this collection, and we've got it on modern machines. Now, a criticism here, I've been speaking to some people from within the Street Fighter community, in particular Saber SRK, or I think it's called Saber AZ now, or Saber AZ, right? That's how we say it in the UK. So he's pointing at some of the differences. Now, understand, guys, I am a casual player. I like to think I'm hardcore. Maybe I was hardcore at one point, but there are people that are a lot better than me, and they'll find little things that are inaccurate compared to the original arcade version, because that is what we want. And one of the things that he pointed out was when you play versus mode, I'm talking local versus, once you pick your team, it doesn't show you that versus screen. Now in CVS 1 and 2, the versus screen is important because you can swap your lineup of characters, and that's a mind game in and of itself, right? So let's just say you pick like Sakura, Cammy and Ryu, then you can change your order to put Ryu first, Sakura in the middle and Cammy last, right? And mind games come in because you might have a character that can counter a particular character, and you're swapping your characters at the select screen in order to get that done. So even though that's available online, because I have tried this online, this isn't available locally. Capcom, if you do watch this, I doubt you will. I'm only a small guy on YouTube in a big pond or a big sea. If you do watch it, please put that back in there so people that are playing this locally can actually, well, enjoy it because they can swap the characters. Now, there might be more things that are wrong with this. If you know, then definitely put them in the comments down below, but I'm a very casual person at this game. But anyway, that's kind of enough for CVS 1. Definitely worth playing. Let's kind of move over to CVS 2. Now let's talk about Capcom versus SNK 2. The main reason that I bought this collection, like I said, I really do like this game, and I was looking for a good way to play it. Now I have to say, being like not a pro expert on this, I really enjoyed myself on this. Like I'm going to admit something here. I've generally been playing on Wi-Fi because where my rig is, I need to run a cable across the hall, and I'm too scared that my kids are going to trip up with it. So, once in a while I do use a cable, but even my experience on Wi-Fi, I'm using like Wi-Fi 6E. The router's not, it's just across the hallway. Overall, my experience has been good, but I do understand with an Ethernet cable, you are going to get the best experience. So if you play me online and it's not that great, then I do apologize. And I also want to say, if you do want to play me online, just hit me up in comments, hit me up on Steam, wherever we can play. So this is a great game. So this is Capcom versus SNK 2. It has 6 different grooves in there. It has a groove called C, so Cap and then S and K. So C is like your run-of-the-mill Street Fighter Alpha 1, you know, like the middle one. I forget what it's called now. I think you've got Xism, Aism, or wow, sorry, don't quote me on that. Should have really done more research, but let's go top, middle, bottom, right? So the middle one, you've got 3 levels of super that you can do. The level 1 supers are really lame in this. They can kind of get beat by most pokes. Level 2 is where really the supers are, because you can cancel a level 2 super into like a level 1 super or a special. So that's how you kind of maximize stuff in here. Personally, this is the groove that I use. I find that this is a good groove for beginners, and I'll be a beginner for life. Then we've got A groove. Now A groove is fantastic. A groove is really good. If you're a custom combo guy and you've got good execution, this is the one you want to use. It's got a lot of features from the C groove, but it's missing stuff like air block, for example. We've got air block in C groove, but that's a good groove. Then we've got P, right? Cap. P. P is your parry groove, right? And if you're coming from playing Third Strike, the parry timing is very, very different. Like, don't get me wrong, when I try it out, I can pull some off, but it's definitely a lot not like Third Strike. If anything, in Third Strike, the parry system just feels better. In this one, it doesn't quite feel right, but there are skilled people that play this and use that parry mechanic well. Then let's move it over to the S and K grooves. We've got the S groove. So S groove is the one where light punch and light kick dodge. So in all the Capcom grooves, apart from P, light punch and light kick make you roll. So in S, it makes you dodge. And guys, it's an interesting groove. I like to mess around with it. Also, when your energy goes really, really low, you get unlimited level 1 supers. And if you charge your super bar up by pressing, I think it's hard punch and hard kick, you can get a level 3 super. You can only get a level 3 super when your health is low. It's a fun groove to use, but I don't think it's a tournament winning groove. Then you've got the N groove, which is weird. I've never got on with that, not even for fun. So yeah, it's weird. It's like you've got a bar and then you've got these supers that you need to activate, and then you've got a certain amount of time to activate your super. You've also got a roll. Don't really know too much about it, apart from the fact that when I tried it, I didn't really like it. And then the final groove is K groove. Now K groove is very, very powerful. Generally in the normal version of the game, and this has got that version in there, but not by default, people use roll grooves because there's a technique known as roll cancelling, where if you cancel your roll, I think within the first 2 frames with a special, it gives you the invincibility of the roll. So it's very, very effective, and it's become the normal way to play the game. Now everyone uses those roll grooves, but the only thing where someone doesn't use a roll groove, it is usually the K groove. Now K groove is very, very powerful. It has the opposite to parry. It has just defense, which in some ways is better, right? Because if you're defending, if you defend too early, you don't get the just defense, you just get a normal block. And if you block too late, yes, you might eat a hit, but you're not pressing it in the opposite direction like you are with parries. So it's a very, very good groove. And as you just defend and your bar builds up, like a rage meter, you can do a devastating move. It's a really, really good one. I've seen some very, very good plays with it. I dabble with it. I'm just not that good with it, so I generally stick to K. But there you go. It's quite a big system, especially compared to CVS1, where you only had 2 grooves. You've now got 6 grooves in this game. Now to talk a little bit about the online modes. I went online with this, and you know what, I had a lot of fun, but I know some of the guys that are better at this, some of the guys that really, really do know this game and are just very, very good with the execution, have found some issues with it. Some of those issues I'm not exactly happy about, but I know some of them, a lot of the guys are very, very upset about. Generally, my online experience was good. I played some ranked games, and yes, they were definitely a lot of fun. It reminded me of the Xbox One days. The netcode is definitely better, and I have to say on CVS2, compared to playing it on Fightcade, it's definitely a better experience for me playing it on the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Now bear in mind, that's not always the case. Fightcade is really, really good. For example, the way I enjoy playing Street Fighter 3 Third Strike is via Fightcade. There's no Capcom package that's available that's out that I think is on par with that. The closest thing I think we had to a good Third Strike Online was the Xbox 360, but nothing official has compared to that again. But there are some issues with this. For example, just like CVS1, in CVS2, when you're playing local versus, not online versus, it doesn't apply to that. Local versus, you can't change your character order. So that mind game kind of goes there, because hey, you always swap around your characters when you're trying to get into your opponent's head. trying to put a character that you know may well be able to counter their character. So that's something that sucks a little bit. As well as that, right? So it's really weird. So there was a version of Capcom versus SNK 2, the one that I used to play on the Xbox, the one that kind of came out for the GameCube as well. It was the EO version. It stands for Easy Operation. Now, what that did was it gave you, you moved kind of like, you couldn't really do moves properly. You kind of moved directions and it did special moves. So for example, you could keep walking forward with Guile spamming sonic booms. It's not something I could ever get used to, and it just makes the game not fun. Now what's really weird on here, the default mode for this game, it doesn't exactly use EO mode. It uses like a hybrid of EO mode. So it's vanilla Capcom versus SNK 2 with P-Groove buffs, right? So in vanilla Capcom versus SNK 2, the one on the Dreamcast, the Naomi one, you cannot super cancel in P-Groove, but you can in this version. However, so what they've done is they've tweaked it. It's a hybrid between the normal one and the EO version, but they've removed roll cancelling. So when you're playing ranked, as far as I know, in ranked you can't change it, but if you're playing casual against someone, you have to go into the menu and you have to turn roll cancelling on. Now the standard for this game, the tournament standard, is roll cancelling is normal. So I really do hope that at some point Capcom release an update to make the ranked version, the normal version, be the version that's as close to the Dreamcast, the Naomi version, as possible. Because, you know, people are going to play this at launch for a little bit, but the guys that are going to be playing this a year, 2 years, 5 years from now are going to be like the hardcore CVS2 fans. And for those, you need the right version. Once again, a massive thank you out to Saber SRK for giving me some facts. There's probably more stuff that he's picked out. I'll leave a link to his Twitter account where he posts all this stuff and has discussions on it. You can see exactly what he's kind of putting out. So yeah, man, that definitely sucks a little bit. But let's check something out. This is something that's really, really interesting. Here's a video that's been posted by a veteran Street Fighter player, Vodka Gobowski, and you may know them from playing, if you played Fightcade in particular, you played Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, very, very good Zangief player. So he's obviously done this comparison video here where he's running Capcom Fighting Collection 2, CVS2 in the top left, Naomi in the top right, and Dreamcast at the bottom. So this is a common way to test stuff and to measure speed. People usually do this for new releases, run it against original hardware and run it against different versions of the game. So what we're looking at here is the timer. As the timer's running down, you're going to see the Dreamcast and Naomi are pretty much identical. There might be like a split, like a frame out by the end of the round or something, but the Capcom Fighting Collection is out a little bit, and let's just pause it a second. So we're going to see, look, that's down to 47.2, 47.4. Okay, so yeah, it's a little bit faster, and this is the kind of stuff that we really would like cleaned up. We would like it as close to the Naomi or the Dreamcast version as possible, so it is bang on accurate. So I mean, it's not terribly out, and someone like myself isn't really going to notice the difference, but there are people out there that may notice this difference. And obviously, if we want something, we want it as accurate as possible. Not all of us have our Dreamcast, and you know, if we haven't got a Dreamcast, we want different ways to play them. So I'm definitely enjoying this. And when we get near the end, let's give it a little pause here and let's see. Okay, so again, not immensely out, but again, it's not spot on perfect with it. I'll leave a link to Vodka Gobowski's YouTube video down here. Check it out. Yeah, so thank you for that, buddy. Before moving over to the next game, let's talk a little bit more about CVS2. And yeah, so in this game here, guys, like, because Capcom made this game, the Capcom guys are pretty much like the highest tier one. Someone like Sagat, Blanca, very, very strong in this. You've got people like Cammy that are very, very strong. On the SNK side, I can't remember. I don't know if we've got a top tier one. Someone like Geese is decent, but I don't think they're in the same league as Blanca or Sagat. As well as that, like, it's mainly like A Groove that might be like the strongest one in there. I guess K Groove has its perks as well. But yeah, honestly, like, it's, if you like Capcom versus SNK 2, it's not perfect, but heck, man, I'm having a good blast with this, and I would recommend this to anyone that played it. If you played it on the original Xbox, if you played it in the arcade, you're going to enjoy this, right, to some extent. You may have to tweak some options or whatever to get roll cancelling back on, but you are going to enjoy it. And if you do want to play it ranked, yeah, it's a hybrid of the EO version. P-Groove super cancels, but hey, no roll cancelling. We've moved over to the next game, and the rest of the video is probably not going to be that long. I don't really have a lot to say about the rest of the games. It'll be a basic overview. I feel like this video's going to be mainly about CVS2, and I apologize for that, because if Capcom Fighting Jam is your favorite game, it's definitely not my favorite game. So this is a game we were all hyped about. So when this was coming out, I was like, wow, we're going to have this version of Street Fighter. It's going to have characters from Street Fighter 2. It's going to have characters from Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Darkstalkers or Darkstalkers 3, Red Earth, and as well as that, it's also got like the bosses from some of the games like Pyron and Shin Akuma. Pyron being from the Darkstalkers series, I think, and Shin Akuma, well, Shin Akuma, you know, Akuma in many different Street Fighter games, but originally from Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Well, that was a normal Akuma. This is Shin Akuma. It's Akuma, and he's got a lot more Shin. As well as that, there was an original character in here called Ingrid. Now, on paper, the idea of this just sounded really, really good. It sounded like all your favorite games are coming together, 4 characters from each game, and you can kind of fight them off. And there was quite a bit of a push behind this game as well. I remember getting like one of the arcade sticker Hori Rap, the Capcom Fighting Jam one, because it was a good one, and it had like Ryu and Ingrid as the artwork on their. Great stick, by the way. Long live Lik Sang. If you know, you know. But yeah, so when you actually started playing it, honestly, it wasn't that good. It was like all those different game engines in there, rather than jamming up together to become like one really good game, it became a really crap game. And I don't say that lightly. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll still play it. I like fighters, I like janky fighters, I'll play them against the CPU, but this wasn't something that was taken seriously by the FGC. I was going to say FCG, right? Fighting community game. No, it's the fighting game community. What's really cool in here, from the game Warzard or Red Earth, you could be that freaking dinosaur. So you could be that dinosaur that like draw a giant T-Rex and do special moves. I mean, it had a little bit of an appeal, but it's one of those games that came, it went, and it just died. And I remember when this came out, you had players like Daigo playing this, showing it off a little bit, you know, trying to get people in there. I think Urien might have been top tier in this because people kept picking Urien. But yeah, this is the game, guys. I'm going to move on to the next one. I really don't have that much to say about it, apart from it did come out for the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox, and I don't think it came out for anything after that, right? So this is maybe the first time we're getting it after that. If you know different, then let me know in the comments below. Next up, we're looking at Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. Now, I like Alpha 3 and I also dislike Alpha 3. It wasn't one of my favorite games. I thought it looked beautiful, but I never quite got into it. Parts of it definitely felt broken, and I know that sounds like a little bit of a contradiction because CVS2 is broken, but yes, I like that game a lot. So Alpha 3 has its fans. So what is Alpha 3 Upper? It's the one that's based on Naomi. It's based on Dreamcast hardware, and it has extra characters in there. So for example, in this one, you can be DJ, you've got Guile in here, you've got Fei Long in here, I think you've got like Evil Ryu in here as well. Some characters that aren't in like the original Alpha 3. So it's definitely a fun one to play. I played it a little bit, and you know what, I kind of liked it, and maybe I will play this online. So Alpha 3, it's when, so after you had like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, you had like the Alpha series come out, and it introduced like some new stuff and some new mechanics. So you could pick like Xism, was it Zism, and what was the last one called? I don't know, Cism was it, for the custom combos. Now, generally the meta for this game is the custom combos. People always pick that, the custom combo version of the Super Part. Personally, I don't have great execution, so I always pick the middle one where you've got 3 levels of Super, so you can do like a level 1, level 2, and a level 3. This is Street Fighter Alpha. If you like it, it plays well, and for the casual, it's definitely going to be very, very good. I don't know this game well enough to at least know, oh, this is out of place, this is wrong. I'm sure there's people out there, and I'm really interested from you guys in the comments, man. If there's stuff that you think's out of place, stuff that could be improved, whether it's timings, whatever the heck it is, let us know. I'm really hoping that if we make some noise, especially in regard to like differences in the game that could be avoided. Like for example, someone asked during a live stream I did of this, because when this came out, I did a live stream on Friday, the first day it came out. I was like to my wife, look, I need to play this, let me play it, and I did a stream naturally. So someone mentioned that one thing that they really like about some of these alpha games on consoles is the world tour mode. You had stuff like dramatic battle where you could have like 2 versus 1, 3 versus 1. It was crazy, and the world tour mode almost gave like a fighting game a little bit of an RPG element where you would go, you would you would get like strength, you'd get attributes, and you would use those to make your character stronger, and you'd kind of go through, well, in a massive world tour mode. It definitely gave like fighting games a little bit more of a purpose, because let's be completely honest, fighting games one player, just arcade mode, playing against a CPU isn't the most interesting game. They really come alive in multiplayer. That's why if you've got a good campaign mode, a good one player mode that a player can play, they really enjoy it. But everything in this collection, guys, every single game, you have only got 3 modes. You've got arcade, you've got versus, and you've got training. That's it. And obviously online, you've got the online mode, but in offline, it is arcade, it is versus, local versus, and it is training. So I really do hope, I mean, I'm disappointed that we don't have the extra modes, because I'm gonna mention the extra modes that are missing more so in some of the other games that we're gonna have a look at in a second. The next game we are having a look at is a great game. So the 4 games that we've already looked at are games that I have to play on an arcade stick, right? So Capcom vs SNK 1 and 2, Capcom Fighting Jam, and Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. They have no dispute, no question about it. I have to play those on an arcade stick, and I need like 6 buttons. So for example, even if I was to play them on a pad, I really hate shoulder buttons. So these games here now, so Power Stone. Now, if you look at the first 4 and think of those arcade sticks sitting in front of my PC, these next 4 games are games that I'm going to play on my Steam Deck, and I enjoy playing them on my Steam Deck. And I'm kind of putting the emphasis on here. You can play it any way you like, right? You can play it on a large screen. I'm talking about me personally, and this is advice that I'll give you guys. This is why I think this collection is really, really good value. So we've got our different games on here that we're going to enjoy, we're going to play, right? But yeah, it's nice to play this stuff on a handheld. So you can play Power Stone on here. Now, Power Stone is fantastic. I remember getting this for my Dreamcast and thinking like, wow, what's a freaking amazing game. Definitely without a doubt my favorite series of what they call like arena brawlers. I'm not really into these type of games. I remember seeing like Bleach ones and Naruto ones, and ones based on different animes. This is the one that I like. The gameplay's simple, but I feel like it's hard to master. So you've got a variety of characters that you can pick out. You've got like a punch, kick, grab, and a jump button. It's very simple. You get different obstacles, you get boxes, different weapons appear on the level. You pick those up and you use those, well, to obliterate your enemy. As well as that, there's these, I guess, power stones, but they're diamonds. You grab them. Once you grab 3 of them, you become super duper. I mean, you become super powerful, and you become like this super powerful being, person, whatever, and you get a whole array of attacks, including a super, and it just makes the game really, really cool. I think this is really, really good, and I feel like this game will do well online. It's a fun game to play online, more so than Power Stone 2. And the reason for that is this is just 2 players, and it's not as hectic. It's you versus your opponent. When you play Power Stone 2, oh, it's amazing. It's really, really good the way it's done, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's 4 characters on screen. And what I've seen recently as well, or over the last few years, when there's been tournaments, it's always been tournaments of Power Stone 1 and not Power Stone 2. So I guess like the tournament circuit for the Power Stone games, Power Stone 1 is still the main one. Now moving on to the sequel, Power Stone 2. I remember when this came out, I had this for a Dreamcast. I had like a Japanese version. So there were aspects of this game I couldn't quite understand, but I liked it as soon as I started playing it. It is hectic. There's 4 of you on screen at one time. Now when I had this in Japanese, it had different modes in there. And again, this is something that I'm going to say bang out right. It sucks about this compilation, because when you're playing it offline, you've got arcade, you've got versus, and you've got freaking training. This had like a 1-player mode, and I can't remember if it was a board game or you kind of went through stuff and you unlock stuff, you unlock more weapons. It was really, really good, and I feel like that it's a missed opportunity, and I certainly hope that later we get an update, even though I'm not holding my breath for that. If we can get an update for this, it would be freaking amazing. I would absolutely love it to get those extra modes. But for now, in Power Stone 2, what you have got is arcade, training, and versus, just like all the other freaking games. Now, playing it 4 players, it's hectic. Same rules apply, right? Obstacles. You've got great arenas. You've got stages that change. So you might start on a fly ship, then you kind of dive down. You go on the floor. It's freaking amazing. But there's a lot going on when you're playing like 4 players. Honestly, sometimes it's hard to keep up with what's going on, and that's why I think that Power Stone 1 has been the game that people have enjoyed more when it comes to like competing on like a pro level, right? Because I have seen some tournaments and it's always been Power Stone 1. But this is a fun game to try out, especially if you've got 4 friends around, or 3 friends and yourself equals 4. Play it, enjoy it. It's a freaking good game. And also, I hope the arcade mode, the arcade mode has got that. I'm sure it has. I haven't played it enough at the moment, but it's really good because you get some really, really good bosses. And I remember this kind of Egyptian boss, right, with like a mummified head. It was like a giant mummified thing on 4 legs, and it looked really, really good, and it made the one-player mode really, really good. But I'll say it again, man, I just hate the fact that some additional modes are missing in this. Capcom, you can do better. You know, give the fans what they want. Give us a fully fledged version of these games. Like, so for example, when we're playing it, it's got everything the original Dreamcast version of the game has. If you want to give us extra stuff, cool, give us extra stuff. Project Justice, also known as Rival Schools 2. Guys, this game is a banger. Had this for a Dreamcast, and as soon as I got it, I just freaking fell in love with it. This game is just style. The sequel to Rival Schools 1, which I played on the original PlayStation 1, and yeah, that game is okay, but wow, what a freaking sequel. There's 2 ways of playing it. When you play in arcade mode, you can pick either like teams where you've got different schools and you've got 3 people in a team per school, or you can pick like free mode, like, you know, in King of Fighters, where the early ones you could pick like the teams, or you could separate and pick any 3 characters you want. So, but yeah, you can mix and match. And guys, this is so goofy, man. You've got crazy characters in here. You've got like different students, science students, photography students that will take a picture of you that will act as a special move. You've got a scientist one. You've got a girl that plays a violin, and all her moves are musical. I mean, this is a freaking good game. I'd like to play this, and this is another one that I would like Power Stone. I like playing this on the Steam Deck. Maybe I don't play it to a high level, so maybe there'll be some complex execution that I may have difficulty with down the line, but at least playing it at a casual level, it's very, very fun on the Steam Deck, in bed, playing this with your wife moaning, saying the buttons are too loud and I should stop gaming in bed. And again, the big downfall with this, it had like a board game in this. When I had the Japanese version on the Dreamcast, I had no idea what to do in the board game. If I remember correctly, it may have even been on 2 discs. So one disc had like the main game, the second disc had a board game. Again, we don't have this in this compilation. So even though this is a compilation of 8 games, and I still think it's worth buying because there is really, really good value in this, it's freaking missing some of the really cool stuff that's in some of the games. And in Project Justice, yeah, that board game is something that I really, really had it on my list of games to kind of play and try out. And yeah, it's definitely without a doubt a missed freaking opportunity, man, because that board game, if you remember it, it just looked freaking awesome, man. It's something I always wanted to play. But yeah, for the whole part, it plays well online. I played a couple of games online. The jumping in this is really, really funny. You jump up like really, really high. You don't go so far, but you definitely go up. But yeah, play this game, man. It's a super great game. The final game is Plasma Sword, Nightmare of Bilstein. And if I'm not mistaken, Star Gladiator, the first one, may have been out for the PlayStation 1, but this is Star Gladiator 2 Plasma Sword. Now, I'm not very familiar with this game. I did have this on the Dreamcast. I'm going to make a confession here. I did buy a lot of games for the Dreamcast, but heck, man, when that boot up disc came out, I pretty much had every new game that was coming out. And being a fighting games fan, I had to check this out. Now, I never played this a lot on there. No one really wanted to play this against me, but it is an interesting game. And playing it now, I do like it. And this is one of the games I'm not going to play on an arcade stick. Only the first 4 games, right, like I mentioned, are the arcade stick games. The last 4 games of the video are going to be like Steam Deck games for me. And I really think this is a good brawler to play on a handheld, because hey, I like fighting games, I like handheld gaming, and I feel with handheld gaming we're limited to the controls, right? We can't pull special moves off, at least I can't, at least not complex combos. But on games like this where I'm playing them on a casual level, it does feel very, very good. So when I saw the characters on there, I picked a character that resembled this game's like Ken or Ryu, right? You know, give him a fireball, give him a dragon punch, yeah, that's hunker-dory. It's got like a number of specials in here. There's some interesting mechanics in here that I don't understand. The moves in this game, so you've got a horizontal and a vertical slash, and you've got a kick button similar to Soul Calibur. However, there isn't a block button that you have to press down, and there's no parries or anything in here. In fact, where the block button is on a game like Soul Calibur, this just kind of makes you like shift up and down, so like sidestep, for example. But this is a fun game. I wish if I knew more about it. I'm definitely going to get more and more acquainted with this. It's something that I do intend to play. I'm just wondering which game I'd like to play more on a handheld, Project Justice or this. I feel like it might be Project Justice, but this one does feel very, very good. The character that I picked, Hayato, is really cool. When he wins, you can hear that freaking lightsaber sound straight out of Star Wars, man. There's there's no distinction. Like, it is exactly that. The characters are cool in this, the arenas are cool, this game is freaking cool, and I'm proper happy that it's included in this collection, right? Because sometimes you get a collection, there's only one game you want to play on it, the rest of them are rubbish, they're not done well. At least we've got a new way to play these games. We've got a way to play them online. Now, for anyone out there that plays Fightcade and plays the Naomi and Dreamcast stuff, and you've got this collection, I'm really interested in your opinion. Like, what do you freaking think about it? Do you think it's bang on? Also, if you're playing this on like a PlayStation 5 and you're using a PlayStation Portal, what's it like? Do you get double the lag when you're kind of streaming it to a device and playing it remotely? On the Xbox, I don't know, you can pretty much remote play any game, right? Everything's an Xbox apparently. My fridge downstairs is an Xbox. The Nintendo Switch is a handheld, so I wonder what it's like on there. At least on Steam, the version that I bought, I'm a PC for the current gen anyway. I like playing it on my main rig, and I like having the option to play it on a handheld PC. Actually, I've got another handheld PC, a GPD Win Mini in the post. I'll try this stuff out there, and I'll try this stuff out on there as well. That has a better D-pad than the Steam Deck, so maybe I can play something like Street Fighter Alpha on there. I'll definitely try. Something that I think is very cool in this game is right, okay, let's just go back out. So you've got the different soundtracks that you can listen to all of those. It's got all of them in there. In fact, if you look in on Steam, if you look at the browse local files, you can actually find all the music in WAV files. Haven't tried them out yet. Hopefully we can play them with a player, right? But gallery, I want to find out where the pictures are stored, because some of this artwork will look freaking awesome for thumbnails. So let's have a look at some pictures here. Okay, so Capcom Fighting Collection 2. So there you go. That's artwork that's related to that. And wow, that's really cool. So there you go. Now you see me, now you don't. Right, but let's go into this one here. So if we go into Capcom versus SNK Pro, again, really do like this stuff. We've got lots and lots of artwork in it. What's really cool here, you've got different versions of the artwork, right? So you've got Capcom's version and SNK's version. I kind of know it better in CVS2. It's more distinct as well. So in CVS2, here we go. That's Capcom's artwork. That's SNK's artwork of Ryu. Capcom, SNK, Capcom, SNK, Capcom, SNK. Well, you get the drift. So we've got lots and lots of stuff that we can go through. There's a heap load of artwork on there, man. So let's go here. Capcom Fighting Evolution. Again, lots of cool stuff. How many have we got if we go the other way? Okay, wow, look at that. I mean, these are high quality images on there. Guys, if you find a way of extracting these, I would love to get hold of these, man. If I ever do like any further videos, I can use these for thumbnails. I mean, they just look freaking awesome, man. So you've got it for all the games here as well. Let's go into Project Justice, because that's a cool game. Again, look at that. Look how nice that freaking looks, man. So do like this stuff. I don't always look at the art stuff in collections, but this one in particular, I do think it's really cool. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this video, guys. In conclusion, is it worth buying this, right? On Steam right now, it's £35, and I'm pretty sure it's £35 on like Xbox, PlayStation, everywhere if you buy it on digital. I don't think we've got a physical version in the UK for the Switch. I think the physical version for the Switch is like USA and maybe Asia. I could be wrong, let me know. I don't intend to buy it for the Switch now, but I might pick it up if there is a UK one available, if I see it at a good price. But yeah, for the price that you're paying, I paid £22.50 because I pre-ordered it and I wanted this. I knew I wanted it. So but if you buy it right now, if you hunt around, if you want the PC version, maybe you can find it a little bit cheaper off like one of those key selling sites. If not, it's £35 on Steam, but even at £35, I think it's really good value. It's not perfect. There are some differences in there, especially, you know, if you're someone that your senses are down to like 1 frame a second, and you can really notice that stuff. Yeah, there's gonna be some stuff that might be out. The fact that in CVS2 you don't have roll cancelling set as default, and it's like a hybrid EO version, as well as that, the fact that in CVS 1 and 2 you can't, in local versus, you haven't got the character kind of versus screen, so you can't swap your characters. That's just a big oversight. I do hope Capcom release a patch. I do hope they listen to feedback from fans, but even in the state it is now, guys, I'm happy with my purchase. I like it. For me personally, the netcode is good. I am enjoying my games on there. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, a subscription and a like is always super duper appreciated. Be freaking awesome to one another. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.